What's going on, guys? Clifton Denny with On Your Own Outdoors. Hey guys, so it's Monday, so you know what that means? It's Broadhead Day. Today we're gonna test the Sevr 2.0. Comes in this real nifty box. This is how it came whenever we ordered them. Yeah, we actually have two in here. We've got the 2.0 and the 1.5, but we're gonna go ahead. I like the big cuts. We're gonna go ahead and start today with the 2.0. So I have not taken one of these out of the package yet, so let's see what it's all about. So this is what it comes in. It's got this nifty little case. I'm not real sure what the price of these were because the wife ordered these because guys were dropping in the box to do a review. So get it out of the plastic case. Now it looks like this. Let's go ahead and take it out of there. So number one, I didn't even know this about these until right now, but I'll tell you one thing that I'm not a fan of. So if you look down here at the bottom, they have a rubber band. So anyways, is what it is, but see if we can roll that down. Let's check it out. So once that band breaks, this is the way they operate. They flip open. I will say that I kind of like the way they swing like that. So if it was to hit a bone or something, I think it's gonna kick. So anyhow, yeah, so that's what they look like. So just taking them out of the package and checking them out. Number one, they are very, very, very heavy duty feeling broadhead. Everything's tight. They feel super heavy. They feel solid. So I don't think that we would have any issue with the actual broadhead as far as durability goes. But I do like the fact, it's hard for you guys to see, but it is one solid shaft all the way up. So the only screws that are really in it are where the blades connect. So anyways, and it kind of seems like they're on like a pendulum. They just kind of swing back and forth in there. So anyhow, yeah, we're gonna put it on arrow, get us a watermelon set up, and go to shooting. All right, so we've got the Sevr Titanium 2.0 Matthews VXR Hunter Gold Tip XT 300 with the 50 grain front weighted insert. All right, guys, so like always, we're gonna start with measuring the penetration, so how much arrow we have left sticking out the back side. All right, so we're basically right at, if you can see that, right at 15.5 inches of arrow sticking out the back side. Not completely terrible considering that it is a two blade large expandable broadhead. So we're going to start by measuring the entrance hole. So the entrance hole you're looking at right at 1 inch. We get that set just right. And then the exit hole, it's a little bit further than what you can actually tell because of the watermelon itself. Didn't come out with this tape, but we're at right at 1.25 inches. We're right at 1.25 inches on the exit hole. Now, the hole going into the bag is most certainly the 2 full inches. Now we're going to go ahead and cut this thing open. See what we're looking at as far as wound channel goes. Alright, so as you can see, busted the block eyes. Alright guys, so this is something I want to talk about with that with that broadhead and the way that the blades swivel on the screw that's inside of them. So that would be your entrance hole. It's right at 1 inch. This, however, is your hole once it gets inside. So the way that these blades operate, they don't actually get fully deployed until they're inside. So the 2-inch cut is 110%. Once, it's not that up there. It is that one. Either way, your 2-inch wound channel is 110% what it's supposed to be once it gets inside of the skin of the watermelon. It does get to that 2-inch capacity until it gets to the block of ice. So once it got to the block of ice is where stuff changed. So this up here is the wound channel after it went through the block of ice. You can see here how one blade is fully opened and then the other one is not. So it's after it goes to the block of ice, and this is once it exits the watermelon itself. All right, so again, this is a Sevr Titanium 2.0. That's what it looks like. Honestly, when it's fully open, it kind of looks like a hypodermic. So let's talk about it. Number one, I'm always gonna knock them. You guys, like I said all the time, you can beat me up in the comments. I'm not a fan of rubber bands. I know whenever I said this about one of the other ones, people say they don't dry rot, whatever. I got it. So what happens whenever you hook this really hard on something and you end up breaking that rubber band? For an example, whenever I was in Missouri this weekend, the way my bow was swinging, I didn't realize it, but my broadhead was sitting here bouncing off a limb on the back side. Anyways, just be precautious. If you're shooting one that's got some kind of rubber bands, make sure you're checking them before you shoot, right? So make sure there's nothing on the back side of your tree that's hitting it. When you pull it out of your quiver, make sure it's all still good. And that's as much as I'm gonna say about that. I'm just not a huge fan of that style. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work. So, all right, so now that we're past the rubber band thing, accuracy test. Thing flies just like a field point. As you can see here, whenever it hits, I was aiming for the J. It hit right there at the J, like it flies well. I'm not surprised because the way this thing packs up whenever it's all put together is super tiny. It's like throwing a field tip at them, except just feels like a whole lot more durable. The one thing I touched on at the beginning of this video, you see that, right? So once these things open up, they kind of lock together so that it can't, one can't close completely. It just kind of swivels. So on our review, the way that our review works, for you guys that are new here, we have a watermelon. We embed a 3-inch block of ice inside of it to give it some kind of retention, right? And then it goes through that, hits the target, and it gives us a ability to kind of measure the depth that the arrow's sticking out for some kind of penetration review. So anyways, for our review purposes, the way that this broadhead operates, I was concerned or wondering what would happen when it hit the block of ice, and it actually ended up doing exactly what I thought it would. So the way this broadhead operates, the way that it goes in, it does not fully open until it gets inside. No big deal. We see that a lot with a lot of the mechanical broadheads. So on the outside of it, I think we were at 1 inch and something, whatever. So you shouldn't have that full 2 inches whenever it goes through the front side until you got to the inside. So the wound channel, as soon as we got inside the outside of the watermelon, no, that's a tongue twister there. But anyways, as soon as we got to the inside of the skin of the watermelon, the wound channel was fantastic. It was big, it was wide, it had that slight rotation to it. It was absolutely fantastic until it hit the block of ice. Now, did it do its job? Yes, it did exactly what they designed this to do. It hit the block of ice at kind of an angle. One slid like that. So this is your broadhead. Let me get up here so y'all can kind of see it. It hits the block of ice at kind of an angle. It closes that one off so that it doesn't lose momentum and shoves through with the other one out the back side. So goes in small, opens up wound channel, hits the block of ice. So you could say that's a bone, right? So hits the block of ice, it folds one side where most of the pressure's at, and it continues on through creating a wound channel. Once it came out the block of ice, it started to open back up, you know, started to square back up, I guess you'd say. So it comes through like this. It starts to square back up once it comes out the block of ice. And by the time it reached the bag, so by the time it reached the back side of the watermelon, I think we were back up to almost 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, something like that. And then once it reached the bag on the back side, it was back to a full 2-inch cut diameter. So the broadhead did exactly what it's designed to do. For this review, look guys, y'all know me, like I'm gonna shoot you straight. For this review, this broadhead's not going to review out really well, right? Because we have a solid block of ice inside. But what I wanted to see with this broadhead is, does it perform the way that they say it will? That's what we're doing in every one of these reviews. I'm not trying to compare a broadhead to another broadhead. I'm trying to compare the performance that they claim on the package versus what the broadhead will do. So, will this broadhead do what the package says it will do? 110%. The design of this and the way it's made to move around bones and such worked exactly like it was supposed to. Y'all all seen it just like I did as it went through the block of ice. So I don't actually have anything negative to say about this broadhead. Durability, plus, right? Super solid. These blades are thick. They're solid blades. The tip is made in with the shaft, so super solid. Feels real tough. It is real tough. It is what it is. Accuracy, outstanding. Flew exactly like a field tip. Again, you kind of expect that to happen whenever it folds up that nice. So, yeah, so accuracy, huge plus. The wound channel size, again, guys, did we see the 2-inch? No, we seen it on the back side where it hit the bag. However, you know, that is a big block of ice that it's going through, so it had that thing kicked. So, yeah, I think it's a super solid broadhead, guys. If you're looking for something, you know, you're worried about, you know, hugging up close to that shoulder and worried you're going to bump that shoulder. I mean, one good thing about these, if you bump the shoulder, it's going to kind of fold up like that and keep doing what it was doing. So, super solid broadhead, super accurate. Look, man, at the end of the day, confidence is accuracy, and accuracy kills, right? So I say this at all my videos. Look, if this Sevr Titanium 2.0 is what you prefer to shoot, then throw that dude on your bow, go shoot it through a target, make sure it's shooting good with your bow, and get out in the woods and harvest the deer you're after, right? That's all I've got for it, man. I don't have a whole bunch to say about this broadhead. It did exactly what it is made to do. So don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe. Click that little bell up top, because you're never going to know when we're going to do a broadhead or a review of something else. And it'd be something that you didn't even know that you needed. And by all means, man, share this with your friends. Maybe if one of them shoot one of these broadheads, they shoot one of the ones we've done before, and you want to do a little smack talking, share one of these videos to them. And if you have something you want to see tested, guys, drop it down in the box below, and we'll make sure we'll get it in line. So just understand, guys, we've got a lot of requests, so it's a pretty hefty line. But the good thing is we've got all year, right? So anyways, guys, good hunting, good luck. We'll see you on Wednesday.